Okay, here's the Texas Scarlet flowering quince that I bought from Kent Nursery today. And the reason why I got it was because I saw the potential within that kind of main leader right here, the main trunk. Has some really sexy curves in here. Now, if you can look past all the root suckers and all these branches in here, it is actually a very nice tree. I would consider this probably the front. Probably, I don't know yet. And then look at how that main trunk kind of winds and weaves. All right, next thing to do here really is all I'm gonna do is just look at this thing and then use pictures to see what I can make it look like. Okay, all I'm gonna do right now is just clean up all these little suckers down here, because there's a lot of energy being funneled into these suckers, and I would prefer to have that energy go into creating a nice big thick trunk. So these little ones I'm going to clip off. These other ones that look about this size, I'm actually going to try to see if I can pull some out with roots, so I can make multiple trees from this one plant. And ideally, what I want to do is actually take this out of the pot, get rid of all this soil, and eventually repot it. Alright, pretty excited to work on this plant. You know, I've been studying bonsai, reading up on it, you know, watching a lot of YouTube videos on it, and learning as much as I can. I do plan on taking a class at the Bonsai Northwest in Tukwila, so that you know, I can do my due diligence in becoming a better bonsai artist. I did buy a concave cutter set, or bonsai set, so I can get in a little bit tighter here. The pruning shears, just a little bit too big for this area. Yeah, I definitely don't want to try to prune too much today, but knowing my personality, I probably can't resist. I love messing with trees and plants, shaping them, and so this is just something I probably can't resist. I need to take this piece off right here. Okay, that's it for now. I'll work on it a little bit more when I get a little bit more situated to do this. I'll work this thing and eventually turn it into more of a tree. And these plants do sucker quite a bit, so if you look down towards the base of that, you're going to see a ton of little branches that literally have become their own trunk. So quinces, luckily, root relatively easy, much like figs, and then hopefully I can turn some of these guys into a new tree. So what I'll do later on is unpot this, clear out all of that soil, pull off these suckers, and I might leave this as a multi-trunk bonsai versus a single trunk bonsai, and that might look more interesting, to kind of let the tree run with its kind of natural way of growing, and maximize some of the flowers off of this tree. You can see it's February, but it's already starting to bud out on every single branch. So this thing is ready to bloom out. Okay? Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to unpot this Scarlet Texas, or Texas Scarlet flowering quince, and see what kind of roots we got in here. Take off the tag. Oh man, this has got a huge root ball in here. Just gonna slowly work the root away. I'll work some of the soil away from the roots, sorry. I don't want to damage these branches because they're beautiful. Very healthy roots though. There's a ton of wood chips in this. A ton of wood chips. Some little hill beetle. And I eventually want to take off actually almost that much root, about 75% off. Jeez, look at all these roots. This is an insane amount of roots. Look at this sucker right here. Turn that into another plant. Okay. 15 minutes later, maybe a little bit more than that, but I've gotten most of the soil off, pulled off probably 3 pounds worth of root, and I've taken the tree down to this level, and I'm starting to see kind of where, you know, this trunk right here will be my main leader, and I'll leave this guy on here. And what I'll do is I'm going to split this into 2 plants because there's plenty of roots to go around for everybody. And hopefully I can make a nice clean cut so that I can then just kind of rip it away with my bare hands. There we go. That's it. Beautiful. I've got another nice tree here. Good root system. That's not going to be an issue. This thing will recover really nicely. Just going to trim some of that off. Okay, and here is the main plant. So this is the tree I'm going to work with, and I think it's quite nice. It's really beautiful. There's a branch here that I'm going to leave. That's going to be my sacrificial branch to thicken up this trunk, this nabari, and I need to trim this down small enough so that it will fit in one of my bonsai pots. The bonsai pots are actually from my father's collection. Unfortunately, he's sick and he hasn't been able to take care of his plants. Yeah, it looks like a pretty drastic haircut, and it is. This plant's going to take a little time to recover here. A lot of time, maybe. Okay. Here's the roots. Here's everything that I pulled off. Ton of stuff. And this is the tree. I think it looks beautiful. I don't want to do any major cuts after such a drastic root pruning. So I just want to cut off some of the major branches I feel that are kind of impeding the tree or just not part of the final look that I want. No more than 30%. Here are the pieces that I got from the tree. This is going to be another nice tree right here. Plenty of roots and a nice open kind of vase style. These I don't know if they'll root. They got a little bit nubs from the roots. This will be 100% a brand new plant. Look at that. Huge root. Tiny sucker. And yeah, so what I'll do is I'll probably put these guys into one pot. I don't know whether or not they'll make it, so no use wasting all that soil in another pot for no reason. And these guys will go in another pot, so that's a potential another 3 plants there. This one now will go into a bonsai pot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put it into this pot. First, I want to talk about this device right here. It's just like a lazy Susan for your TV. Bought it off of Amazon. Spins for 20 bucks. And then you can work on your bonsai as you're trimming it. Literally bought almost everything off of Amazon or eBay. As far as some of the tools I've got, these little hole mesh thingies. It actually fits in there perfectly, actually. I got this for like $10. There's like 125 of these in here. Perfect. I'll use this to cover the hole. Got some wire here. This wire cutter from a Bonsai set I got on eBay. Nothing special. You know, the more I look at it, the more I go, now I kind of want something a little higher end. This whole set was like $50-something. It's not that much at all. I think it's okay. It's not that great. Quality is not great. Sharpness is not great. And so I ended up sharpening the tools. Okay. That is in. Let's take a look in the mix. Here's the mix. I've got small wood chips in here. I think it's pine bark. Peat. Diatomaceous earth. Some macadamia. And I think that's it. No perlite. I'm out of perlite. It's a pretty loose mix, and I should probably filter this. I don't have a filter yet. But for now, it'll do until I can get a filter or a sieve to be able to get kind of the size that I want. You know, it's nice and loose. It's well draining. So let's fill up the pot. Okay. That should work. Now we want to fill it back with dirt, soil. And add in our tree. I don't know, what's the deal usually with like a round pot? Do we still center it, or do we still do a 1/3? Maybe I'll keep it with the 1/3. Man, I think I want it to sit higher. I need more soil. All right, let's add some more. Oh yeah, this is going to be a ton of soil for this tree, but you know what? Let's go a little more. I think that beautiful. I love it. Check that out. Okay. One tree down. Okay, there it is. Out of one tree, I've been able to pull out 4 others. Well, at least 4, because there's 3 in this pot. I'm just going to leave these to kind of root, do their thing outdoors. Looking forward to doing some work on this tree. I'm a little afraid that I took off too much root system, but hopefully I didn't, because, you know, that's a lot of roots, and I get a little worried, but we'll see. This is a March 21st update of my Texas Scarlet flowering quince. You can see that the leaves have popped. All right, here's the November update on the Texas Scarlet flowering quince. Let's give this guy a spit. Okay, you can see here that I've repotted this into a nice color pot because I've learned quite a few things throughout the course of the season about proper color potting for different varieties of bonsai. You know, when you have a flowering bonsai or maples, you definitely want to use a color pot. And then as far as some of the rules for, you know, potting up pines, you want more of that tan or dark color pot. It accentuates the type of plant much better. So you see here I got this beautiful kind of rustic green pot. This I believe came from my dad as well, and it's completely overgrown with moss. It's taking over everything and it's climbing up the nabari over here. Okay, and you can see some of the wiring I've done on here. I could probably remove this now, or I'm too lazy to do it. I just want to do an update. And this moss needs a trimming. It's so thick and fluffy. But yeah, this is the way it looks in November. It does need some trimming and shaping, but I've left the sacrificial brancher, and you know it's doing its job. That trunk looks a lot thicker than it was in the beginning. You know, overall I really like this tree. It's pushed out some little new branches here and there that need to be kept in check. So it didn't flower last year, but I'm hoping that it will this coming spring, and then will show that progress when it does happen. Okay, so flowering quince, still alive. I did a pretty drastic root pruning on it, but it's you know, it's a hardy plant.